Welcome to Wild Vlogs Season 2.
Hi guys, welcome back. This is Season 2 of Wild Vlogs, Episode 1. I'm Simon Watts, a wildlife filmmaker, and in these vlogs we'll be discussing all things wildlife and filmmaking. For my first story today, we're going to head off to the Coignafern estate up in the Northern Highlands of Scotland. This was 2.5 years ago, and I was up there to see a very dear friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, Ian Perks. Ian and I knew each other for a long time. We cut our young naturalist teeth travelling up and down the country in our late teens and our early 20s. But I was up there this time basically to watch a football match, but also to talk to him about the rationale of an amazing bird of prey, a beautiful big black and white bird of prey called the Osprey, returning to breed in the West Midlands. Ian was the perfect person to ask because by now he was site manager and head warden of RSPB Abernethy Reserve, and he also worked with the Roy Dennis Wildlife Foundation. Ian is the guy that scales the trees and gets the Osprey chicks, the golden eagle chicks, the white-tailed eagle chicks, and rings them and tags them. No better person to ask them. Now Ian knew Brandon well, and he thought that yes, actually, especially knowing the burgeoning population that they had over in Rutland Water, about 40 miles to the east from here, of returning African ospreys, that there was every chance that the place, the site, would become too condensed and they would be starting to spread west. He talked to Roy Dennis about it, who then spoke to Dr. Tim McCrill, the actual head of the Rutland Osprey project. Dr. Tim then came to Brandon Marsh to put his feet on the ground and consider firsthand if it was a viable site for breeding osprey. He absolutely thought it was the perfect site for breeding osprey. He gave it the big tick. He also left a bespoke plan for a nesting platform for the amazing volunteers of Brandon Marsh to construct. I was privileged enough to head back to Brandon Marsh in late June on the day that they were going to site this platform in the reed bed for the first time. Such exciting times for Brandon Marsh, and considering also about the timescale here, so those Gambian wintering ospreys will be heading back or starting to head back in the new year, and they will probably take about 12 weeks to do that. So we're thinking now late March, beginning of April, when everybody in and around Brandon Marsh, anybody interested in the place and these birds, will be keeping their eyes to the skies. Fingers crossed. My next story is about my nemesis when it comes to filming wildlife, my avian nemesis at least. It's the smallest British bird we have. A lot of people think that the smallest British bird is the wren, but actually we have a bird that's up to a half a centimetre smaller than the wren. It's called the Goldcrest. The Goldcrest is a member of the kinglet family, a gorgeous looking bird, but my nemesis for many reasons. One, simply its size. Two, it never stops moving. Like a lot of small birds, they've got a faster heart rate, they've got a faster intake of food, the need for a faster intake of food, and they're constantly going from branch to branch, searching for, as with the Goldcrest, invertebrate prey. They also have this amazing olive green mantle, this wonderful olive green back, and it perfectly blends them in with the foliage. I was sat in a wonderful copse sometime late May on the borderlands of Wales here in the UK, and I heard a Goldcrest calling. You can hear that call now. It's a very familiar call. My dad always used to say it sounded like a squeaky cartwheel. Now when I hear a Goldcrest calling, I'm caught in two minds. I'm thinking, do I or don't I? You can never have too much footage of a Goldcrest. You'll always want to improve your footage of a Goldcrest, that's for sure. It's just one of those birds, but also the frustration that's attached with it. This was late May, there were lots of opportunities with plenty of other birds. I was about to relent, I can tell you now, but then I heard a collective of Goldcrest calls, and that really was the tipping point. That turned my head, because these birds normally traverse the trees singularly. You only hear them calling on their own. This, and considering it was late May, left me thinking I might be dealing with a whole Goldcrest family. I looked and I caught a glimpse of one of the adults, what I thought was the female, and then, sure enough, my suspicions were confirmed. I had a whole fledgling group on a short piece of branch, no more than 10 to 15 centimetres in length, about 7 of them. It was wonderful. This was gold dust for any wildlife filmmaker. Also, coupled with the fact that this huddle, this fledgling huddle, I knew meant that these birds had only just fledged. I mean, you can see the way they're preening, the way they're agitated, that they've just been released from this place where they were squashed together for about 2 weeks. That, and also considering their feathers would have just come out of pin. When they come out of pin, there's lots of waxy residue and lots of irritation, so you can see why they're desperately trying to preen themselves. This huddle would only last, I knew, for a short space of time. These birds tend to disperse very quickly. They want to find their own spot. They want to, in their own way, independently attract the attentions of the parent birds, to feed them. The parents will continue to feed them for up to a week. But just wonderful to see this little group, in this briefest moment, just developing their orangey yellow crowns. We can only hope that a lot of them are still around with us now as we approach midwinter. Anybody that knows me and knows my vlogs knows that I like to leave a teaser for people. That's where I leave you a question, and you can answer in the comments below, and I'll give you the answer then, the official answer, the following week. This question this week actually relates to the Goldcrest, because as much as that family that we saw there were definitely resident UK birds, we also do get Goldcrests that migrate. And it happens just about this time of year. From autumn into winter, these birds come across from northern Europe, escaping the darker days and the colder temperatures, and they find that Britain suits them perfectly. I mean, that's incredible when you think about it. Bearing in mind this bird only weighs, 5 grams? That's about the weight of a UK 50p piece. Now I can tell you now that way back in 2004, the bird ringing group that I often associate myself, the Stanford Bird Ringers, based on the Northamptonshire-Leicestershire border, back in 2004 they extracted a Goldcrest from one of their nets. This was in October. This was a control bird. What do I mean by that? Well, when the bird was extracted, they found it already had a ring on its leg. And on closer inspection, this ring wasn't British at all. This was a foreign ring. And then when they looked at the data, they found that this ring had been applied only 20 days previously, which is just incredible. So, my question to you is, how far do you think that little Goldcrest had flown? I'm not going to tell you its source country because that will give you a better idea, and I don't want to do that. So if you can estimate your best estimate at how far this little Goldcrest had flown from its foreign source, from its foreign land, in just 20 days to make it to the heart of Britain, and leave that in the comments below. I will come back with the absolute exact distance and also give you all the other data collected about this bird. That's it now, guys. Short, sweet and punchy. That's how I intend these vlogs to be from now on. Really looking forward to an exciting rest of 2019 and going into 2020. Lots more out in the field footage as well as you travel with me as I attempt to film the best of British wildlife. If you've liked the vlog, please do give me the thumbs up. Please do consider to subscribe and hit that notification bell. But for now, goodbye.